Hi students, today we will discuss non-carbon chiral centers. Non-carbon chiral center. What is carbon chiral center? Carbon chiral center is a carbon with 4 different ligands around it. 4 different ligands. All the 4 valencies of such carbons are satisfied by 4 different ligands, and such molecules give its non-superimposable mirror image forms. That is, such molecules do not superimpose upon its mirror image. Okay? Such molecules are usually referred to as disymmetric molecules, and disymmetric molecules usually exhibit optical activity, right? Understand, there are many chiral organic molecules were prepared which containing non-carbon chiral centers such as nitrogen chiral centers, phosphorus chiral centers, and sulfur chiral centers. In this video, we will concentrate all these non-carbon chiral centers and their stereochemistry. Okay? See, the stereochemistry of compounds containing nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus gives very interesting and useful information about their application in drugs and medicines. That is, stereochemistry of compounds containing nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus gives very interesting and useful information about their application in drugs and medicine. For example, R-isomer of thalidomide. R-isomer of thalidomide. It is the structure of R-thalidomide. It is an effective drug to treat morning sickness in pregnant women. It is used to treat morning sickness in pregnant women. Whereas its S-isomer, that is S-thalidomide. This is a structure of S-thalidomide, which causes deformities in embryos. Deformities in embryos, harmful effect when the isomer is different with a different configuration. See the different physiological effect of R-thalidomide and S-thalidomide. That is, R-thalidomide is an effective drug to treat morning sickness in pregnant women, whereas its S-isomer causes deformities in embryos. Okay? Among the compounds with the non-carbon chiral centers, we will first discuss the stereochemistry of nitrogen compounds. Stereochemistry of nitrogen compounds. See, nitrogen is tetracoordinate in ammonium salts. It is an ammonium salt. It is tetracoordinate in ammonium salts, and tricoordinate in amines. Tricoordinate in amines. It is amine, tertiary amine, for example. Tricoordinate in amines and exhibit chirality with these coordinations in organic compounds. Substituted ammonium compounds and N-oxide, it is N-oxides of nitrogen compounds, organic nitrogen compounds. See, N-oxides are examples of tetracoordinate chiral center. These are tetracoordinate chiral centers. These two molecules are with tetracoordinate chiral center, nitrogen chiral centers. Right? When we consider the stereochemistry of tertiary amine, the tricoordinate tertiary amine can be treated in the same manner as the tetracoordinate compounds, with lone pairs as the fourth substituent. Here there are 3 substituents, and hence the nitrogen is tricoordinated with these substituent. The fourth coordination or the fourth substituent, instead of fourth substituent in quaternary ammonium salts, here it is a lone pair which acts as fourth substituent, and hence this can be taken as, this tertiary amines can be taken as a chiral molecule. But because of the presence of this lone pair of electron or non-bonded electron, the actual shape of molecule will be pyramidal. Clear? Because of the pyramidal structure and also has a pair of non-bonded electron, that it turns inside out, the molecule turns inside out even at room temperature, and hence undergo fast pyramidal inversion. You can see this molecule gets inverted to this configuration through the transition state, through this transition state. You can see this transition state is planar, and hence this pyramidal inversion takes place through a planar transition state, and it is very fast, and hence chiral amines cannot be resolved due to this pyramidal or amine inversion. Okay? See, this inversion of amines can be restricted when the nitrogen atom forms part of a ring. This leads to increase in barrier to invasion. See, if the nitrogen atom forms the part of a ring, the pyramidal inversion is very much restricted because of high barrier to inversion. For example, in the case of Trojer's base, the nitrogen is placed on the bridge head. Two nitrogen atoms are on bridge head, and this pyramidal inversion cannot take place without breaking these bonds. Okay, thus Trojer's base is resolvable, right? It is another important example of cyclic nitrogen containing tertiary amines in which nitrogen is locked in the ring. This molecule is resolvable. It is 2-methyl 3,3-diphenyl oxaziridine. This molecule is resolvable. It is nitrogen containing cyclic tertiary amine. In this, nitrogen is locked in the ring. That is why the pyramidal inversion is very much restricted, so that this molecule is resolvable. Okay. In the case of quaternary ammonium ion, without non-bonded electrons, and possessing 4 different ligands around the nitrogen atom, do not invert, and hence such ammonium ions, quaternary ammonium ions, are resolvable or optically active or resolvable. For example, this molecule N plus pH, CH2pH, ET and Me. All the 4 ligands are different, and this molecule is optically active, or this molecule is chiral. Okay. It is another quaternary ammonium ions in which nitrogen is locked in the ring. This molecule is highly resolvable because there is no possibility for pyramidal inversion or amine inversion for this molecule, because nitrogen, even though it is quaternary ammonium ion, this nitrogen is locked in the ring, and hence the inversion is very much restricted, so that this molecule is highly resolvable or optically active. Okay. Now let us consider the stereochemistry of phosphorus compounds. See, phosphines, like amines, exist in trigonal pyramidal structural form. That is, phosphine exists in pyramidal structural form as of tertiary amines. But tertiary phosphines cannot be resolved easily due to inversion, as in the case of tertiary amines. Tertiary phosphines cannot be resolved easily due to the inversion takes place as in tertiary amines. But however, inversion in phosphines is usually slower than that in tertiary amines, and this inversion can be brought to zero by increasing the weight of substituted groups. That means if the substituted groups in the phosphine is sufficiently bulky, the pyramidal inversions can be brought to zero. That means the pyramidal inversion can be restricted by the substitution of bulky groups around the central phosphorus in phosphine. Okay. See, phosphonium compounds, for example, compound 1, phosphine oxide, the compound 2 here, and phosphine, this is a phosphine derivative, the compound 3, phosphine derivative, have phosphorus chiral centers. You can see all these have phosphorus chiral centers because all the substituent around the phosphorus in each molecules are different each other. They are different each other, and hence these molecules are chiral and optically active. They are resolvable. See, this compound 3 is derivative of phosphine. Here all the groups are bulky groups, and hence this molecule is chiral. Here also all the groups are different and bulkier, and so the molecule is chiral. And in the first compound also all the groups are different and bulkier enough or sufficiently bulkier to be resolvable, and so all these phosphorus compounds are chiral, right? See, phosphate triesters are chiral if all the 4 substituent groups are different. See this example. All the 4 substituents are different. Oxygen, OR, OR. All the substituents are different, and hence phosphate triesters are chiral. Okay. Finally, let us consider the stereochemistry of sulfur compounds. The sulfur compounds possess high pyramidal inversion barrier than amines. That means sulfur compounds are hesitant for the pyramidal inversion compared to amines. That means they possess higher pyramidal inversion barrier than amine. For example, hexavalent sulfur compounds, as the compound 1, it is hexavalent sulfur compound, hexavalent sulfur compounds. And sulfonium salt, it is an example of sulfonium salt, and sulfoxide, all have sulfur chiral centers, and are resolvable depending upon the groups attached with the sulfur. If the groups are bulky groups or sufficiently bulkier in order to prevent the pyramidal inversion or in order to prevent the inversion, then these molecules or sulfur, this type of sulfur compounds are chiral. Okay, these are the important examples of compounds with chiral sulfur atom. That is, hexavalent sulfur compounds like this, sulfonium salts, sulfoxide, all these are chiral molecules. Okay. Here I conclude my discussion of non-carbon chiral centers. I think you might all have a clear idea about non-carbon chiral centers such as nitrogen containing chiral centers, phosphorus containing chiral centers, and sulfur as chiral centers, and important examples. Okay, thank you for listening. Thank you.